Howdy, YouTube parts. Jack Spade back here with you, High Noon Leatherworks, for another leather adventure. And today we're going to do a project with some scrap material that I had left over. I hate to get rid of that stuff. You can't really use it for a large scale project, but it's something that you can do to promote yourself, your hobby, your side business, whatever it is you're doing, your full time business or a friend's, family member's business. So it's simple to do, it's quick, it's easy, and it's just scrap that I couldn't do anything else with anyway, so I might as well use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the laser engraver, and we're going to take some of these scraps of this thicker 8 to 10, maybe 12 ounce, pretty thick leather, and I'm going to make coasters out of it. I'm not going to use any dye, so I'll show you how I'm going to do that, and you'll end up with a set of coasters with your logo on it, or a company logo of a friend or a family member, and you could sell these. So it could be a little moneymaker, and all it is just scrap material you have laying around from other projects. So come on in and let's get started. All right, so I have a finished product here. This is my new logo, and what I want to do is I just went in the house and I grabbed a coaster that I had on an end table and brought it out, and that's what I used as my template. So I downloaded my logo to my laser engraving software, and I'm going to send it to the laser engraver. And I've got several different pieces of scrap here that I'm going to use. They all don't match. They're not exactly the same thickness. They're not exactly, But instead of throwing that away, I'm going to use it for these coasters. All I'm doing is setting my depth for the thickness of the, and I did case these before, and they've come back to the natural color. So I didn't soak them or anything. I just cased them lightly, and it seems to help with the burning from the laser. It doesn't seem to burn as much. So I'll go ahead, take my file, send it to the machine, put my safety glasses on, and it'll start burning. Let me get you a little better view in the camera here. So maybe you can see a little bit better about how this machine works. This is only a 5-watt machine, so it's not a super powerful machine, but it does what I need it to do, especially for the leather. I've used it on wood. I really want to use it on some metal, but I haven't got that far yet with it. But as far as the leather work, it works great. we'll just go ahead and let that run in real time, and that'll give you an idea of how long it takes to do that. That logo is right at 3 inches by 3 inches. And of course, the time duration of how long it takes has to do with the size of the logo or the size of the image you're engraving, but also the speed. You can control the speed. So when you control the speed, you're controlling the depth of the engraving in the material. So there's a lot of factors that go into the actual speed. And the speed that I have this set on for this thickness of leather, it burns in there pretty good. I mean, you can easily feel it, the depth of it with your finger. It would definitely catch on your fingernail on the edges. So, in fact, I was doing a sample on a little bit thinner material for something else I was working on, and the leather got hot, and it actually raised up on one of the corners and caught. And when it caught on the edge of the laser head that moves back and forth, it got stuck. It just stopped because it felt tension on it, and the laser stayed on. It didn't automatically shut off, and it actually burnt into this marble tile. So the laser itself is pretty stout, just be a 5 watt. I don't know if you can see it or not. I can see it with these green laser safety glasses on. But every once in a while you do see the smoke where it's actually burning the leather. And in the camera you see a brighter flash on the laser than what you really see in real life. That's weird. All right, I'm going to take you back over here. To the workbench. And I'll bring this piece over here, the one that we just engraved. Put the finished one up there, and I'm going to go ahead and start another one while we're working on that one. All right, so what I'll do is I'll take this coaster that I had. Let me flip the screen around so I can see what's going on. So I'll take this coaster that I had in the house, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to center it up and down, and I'll just make a little reference mark, and I'll center it up side to side, make a little reference mark. So that I know where to put my outline. Then I'll put my coaster on top of that with those marks lined up. Then I can outline that. Now I'm just using a ballpoint pen here. Then I can take my knife and make my cuts. And I make it right on the inside of that line so that I get almost 100%, if not 100%, of that line off of there. I am going to bevel the top side, so if I don't get that line off of there, the beveler will. Excuse me. Alright, so there's the cutout, just like that one. Now, you'll notice that that image looks a little darker than that finished one. And that's because it still has some of that burnt leather in there. Now, I'm going to take the beveler, and I'm just going to take a small beveler, and I'm going to bevel one edge, the top edge, that's it. I'm leaving the bottom that sits on the table, I'm leaving it flat. Then I'm going to dry burnish that. I'm going to burnish it while it's dry, and that's just to kind of flatten that edge out a little bit. I could put some water, or I could put some sheen or something on that before I burnish it, make it shiny or slicker, but I don't want it super slick. I just want to flatten that edge out a little bit. So then I'll take a clean white shop cloth. These are throwaway shop cloths. And apply some sheen. This is Fibings sheen, leather sheen, to this, and you'll see that I go down into the image with it. I want to cover that top part of that leather that's going to be subjected to moisture from a cup or a glass. I'll make sure that that's coated. Then I'll come back. Our next one just got finished. I'll come back with microfiber cloth and buff that. Now again, this is scrap leather. This isn't, the best of the best. This is stuff I had left over from cutting other projects out of it. So that will dry some, just like this one. You can see how much it dried and lightened up. But now I have a set of two. This one just finished. Let me grab it and I'll be back. So here's the next one. We'll do it the same way. Center it. And I'll make me some reference marks. Center this. Now I'm just doing this by eye. Make some reference marks. Put the coaster on those reference marks and draw my lines. And that also helps keep that square and straight with the text. If you just had an image, it probably wouldn't be as crucial. But when you have text on there, especially text that's in a straight line, like high noon, for instance, then that is going to make a difference. So same thing as the other one. We'll go ahead and cut that out. This is go back to about the thickness of the very first one. So this is a little thicker. And I'll just keep turning that. And the reason I have my cork up is because of the thickness of the cork. I don't want my knife blade moving, and it would be very slight, but you might be able to tell. That's why I have it on the smooth side instead of the cork side. It's just a personal preference. A lot of people want to make sure they have that cork side down so it can't move at all. And that's fine too. So if I have to clean these up, I've already got a nice straight groove. And the reason I am having to clean these up is this is super thick and it's super strong, tough leather. This is the leather I had left over from a project that I made a large frame holster out of. This is about the same thickness as the first coaster I showed you. Thicker than the second one that we did previous to this. So we'll come back with the sheen. Do the same thing. Make sure it gets coated good. Didn't get quite as much on there as I wanted. There's another one completed. Now on this one, I didn't burnish it first. Once I've got that, and you can see that sheen, how it really puts a shine on that, and that's what puts the protectant on it. I can come back afterwards and do it. I'm just barely pushing that leather down just to take the rough edge off of it. So there's 3. I'm going to do a set of 4 out of the scrap that I have. And here's a good example. I was talking about the power of that 5-watt laser. So you can see it got stuck and it went all the way through that leather, no problem. So you could actually use this laser to cut out patterns if you wanted to. All right, so we've got the fourth and final one here of this set. Again, you know, you could make as many as you want if you were just making them out of scrap. You might be, you know, if you want to get into making these, and you could hand stamp them too. They don't have to be done with a laser. I just enjoy using my laser engraver, especially on leather, and I like to personalize a lot of things for people. So it's just a quick, easy project to do. With scrap that you have laying around from leftover from other projects. So there's the fourth one out. This one, the laser got stuck. That's the one I showed you that burned all the way through. So I did end up having to make one last pass. Bevel those edges. Do a quick dry burnish. Again, I'm not trying to slick them up super hard or anything. Just want to flatten that out a little bit. Kind of rolls that edge that I just beveled. And then go to my sheen, just like I did the other three. And you could tell the difference between these. They're different types of leather, you know, come from a different shoulder or a different side. They weren't all from the same piece. They were just leftovers. But for something like this, I don't think it's that big a deal. This one's going to be a little lighter also. Put my sheen up, grab my microfiber. It does a really nice job of buffing that out. And there's my set of 4 coasters with the logo on it. Again, you could do that for a number of different kinds of logos, names. You could put anything on it. And then you can see the shine or the sheen that has on it. That's going to be protected when you set a moist glass on there or cup. All right, so there's another project, quick, in the books. Again, all using scrap. Nice heavy leather coaster with my new logo on it. And quick, easy project you could do. You could put anything on them. You can even play around with some different dyes and colors and things like that. So I appreciate you coming along. Appreciate you following, watching, greatly appreciate that. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate that also. So until next time, I would ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.